For the other servers in P5X, after update 4.0, they will increase the patch update cycle. Usually it's 2 weeks, they increase it to 3 weeks. And for global, there's a chance that we might follow. If you look at the P5X official news, you will see that Akechi's banner will end on May 21st. Today is April 16th. So his banner is gonna last 5 weeks. So you're probably thinking, okay, how is this relevant? It is relevant because pretty much most of the banners last for 4 weeks. 4 weeks is 2 updates. So every banner lasts for 2 updates. The fact that they changed this to 5 weeks means that at least for the first 4.0 update, it's likely going to be 3 weeks. Because Akechi update is 2 weeks, Angel's update, which is 4.0, is 3 weeks, so that's 5 weeks total. But that begs the question, is it only going to be that one update which is 3 weeks, or is it going to be indefinite? If it's indefinite, it means that P5X Global will never catch up, which is interesting because at the start of the game's global release, they talked quite a bit about catching up to the other versions, but that was also the only time they talked about it, because since like the first one of the game, I don't think they talked about it anymore. So that begs the question, are we gonna accelerate, or will we be forever be behind the other versions? Of course, like I said, we won't know for sure until the next live stream, which is the 4.0 live stream. There, I think we will have a clear idea on what's to come in the future. So for the rest of the video, I will list out the pros and cons of increasing the update cycle from 2 weeks to 3 weeks. These are all mostly my personal opinions. Of course, you can disagree or agree, but personally, I'm a little bit sad. I personally want them to accelerate. I want them to catch up. So let me list out some of the cons of changing from 2 weeks to 3 week cycle. The first one, which is a rather big one, there is no hype for character releases because we know exactly what character is coming, and it feels pretty bad to know what's already coming. And you also feel like, okay, it's like 1 year away, and I need to wait 1 year to actually get the character, so it feels kind of bad. Let me remind you of Twins incident, where they released Twins simultaneously on all versions. It was a very hype moment because we had no idea that's happening, and we have no idea how to use the Twins at the time. So it's like all of us figuring out together. That was honestly still my best favorite moment in P5X because of the hype. We might still get it occasionally with anniversaries and stuff, but outside of that, it's gonna be rather boring because you know everything already. Second point is that we have to avoid story spoilers. If you're someone who cares about a story, like myself, it's gonna suck because you need to keep constantly avoiding the spoilers. Since I make videos on the game, I often read news about the game, so I probably get a little bit of spoilers here and there. I say a little bit, but they add up. Because you get a bit of spoilers here, get a bit of spoilers there, they add up, then my brain can start to like connect them together and form my own theories, which kind of sucks. Because by the time the actual story comes out, because it kind of diminishes my experience playing the story, because it's not like 100% fresh anymore. The final thing, it's not actually about, I guess, a player base or whatever, it's more about the game itself. I think the game might actually suffer if they change it to 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, to be fair, I'm not 100% sure what they're gonna add. I think they're gonna add Tartarus or something. I think it's like new gamer or whatever. But right now, even for 2 weeks patch, it feels dry already. And that's saying from someone that has over like 1,200 hours in this game. This game is dry as hell. Outside of Guild Boss, SOS, maybe Astrolabe, that's all. Sometimes get like events here and there, but mostly you can finish everything in 1 day. At most 2 days. But if they increase it to 3 weeks, well, while we get the same amount of content, it will suffer from lower player retention. More players will probably quit the game, or probably don't bother playing with that much. Maybe they'll play it every update, but that's all. They leave the game, which is bad for player retention. I could be wrong here, they could be adding a lot of content, then maybe it's not that bad, but we will see. That's it for my cons. Feel free to let me know what you think, or maybe there's something that I've never thought of. Feel free to let me know in the comments. Changing from 2 weeks to 3 week cycle does have some pros. The first, I guess, big one is foresight. You can know exactly who is coming, and you can exactly pull who you want. This is a contradictory point to one of my cons just now, which is no hype for character releases because you know exactly what's coming. I personally side with the con because I personally don't want to know what's coming because it's more exciting. But I understand some players want to have the foresight to know exactly what's coming. They can plan their pulls, save their gems or whatever. So that pretty much depends on how you value the game and how you play it. The next pro is obviously by extending from 2 weeks to 1 week, you have more time to save gems because you have more dailies. If you have more time to save gems, you can plan your pools even better and you can get more characters over the rest of the course of the game. The next point is here about the whales, because I still remember seeing quite a bunch of whales complaining about whaling on this game. It's very taxing on the whales actually, because they need to whale every 2 weeks, which is crazy. So I need to spend like hundreds of dollars every 2 weeks. And if they change it to 3 week cycle, they change it to whaling every 3 weeks, which is lighter on their wallets. So that also means that the whales can whale more, I guess, because they whale less frequently. And the final pro that I have, this is mostly for me and maybe for the other theory crafters out there, you have more time to test. You have 1 extra week to test, which is pretty nice actually, because sometimes I kind of have to rush a bit or maybe cut out some corners because I don't have the time. But with 1 extra week, I can test things more freely, have more time, I can put in even more effort to the testings, so it's nice. But I don't think this pro is worth all the other cons, because I just personally like them to just speed up. Because I actually did some quick calculations. If they don't change the update cycle, they keep it 2 weeks, we will eventually catch up early 2026, probably like February, March 2026, 2028 I mean, February, March 2028, somewhere like that. But if they change the 3 week cycle, we will literally never ever catch up, because on the CN versions, they are 3 weeks. We will always be like 1 year behind. But yeah, feel free to let me know what you guys think. Of course, this is not set in stones yet, because we don't have confirmation. The only confirmed thing is that Akechi is lasting for 5 weeks, so we can assume that 4.0 update is 3 weeks. But after that, we don't know. They could very well just make 4.0 3 weeks because it's a big patch, the new story patch. But yeah, we will see. And feel free to let me know what you guys think.